Hi.
Hey, it works. I'm happy. What happened?
Just a little bit of connection issue, I think.
All right.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am
Oh,
I
okay,
moving?
great. It's just a little bit stilted. How are you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Looking forward to the interview today.
Yeah, man. Well, why not? It's always good to chat. If I can, am I allowed to swear before I get going properly?
Uh, no swearing.
No
If you keep
swearing.
it. Yeah, no
I
swearing.
wish I was told that beforehand. Okay, cool. I'll try my best.
Okay, that's fine. If you feel it coming on, just I don't know, sneeze or do something else.
I'll do. I make no promises. I'll do what I can.
Okay. So, can you just introduce yourself first of all and tell us a little bit about your artistic background?
Yeah, my name is Archie Maddox. I'm a writer, comedian, actor, radio host, just needy in it. That's it. That's just needing attention. And I think the PR chat is multidisciplinary artist
Yeah.
or whatever. Right? Just a clown in it. That's it. I'm just a clown.
So, is which one of the like many things that you do is your main focus? Would you say?
I wouldn't say there is a main focus. I do what I can really. So at the moment, there's not as much live stand-up comedy.
Hmm.
So obviously that's not the main thing. I just do whatever is required of that day. So if that's writing, that's my focus. If it's not that, then something else is my focus. But I don't try and put focus into one more than another.
Okay, so you kind of just show up on the day and whichever hat you end up wearing, that's
Yeah, it's very unorganized, isn't it? It's not great.
no, I mean it's like spontaneous and it's fun. You never know where it's going to take you, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, not great for paying the bills, but yeah, it's a good thing.
So, when did you decide that you wanted to end up on this career trajectory, shall we say?
I still haven't decided that I want to do this, to be honest. Still trying to work it out. No, kind of when I come out of uni in 2012, I'd always wanted to be an actor,
Mhm.
but I figured being mixed race, there's not that many parts
Right.
because like I just thought, nah, I'm not white enough for a Yaga, I'm not black enough for a fellow, so I better write my own stuff. Like that's the way that I looked at it. It's a pretty dumb way to look at it, but that's how I saw it.
Mm.
And I started writing my own plays, and then didn't want to be in any of the plays because I thought I can't pull any of this off. So let's get some other people to be in it. And then I needed to do something, and people told me that stand-up comedy was a thing that you could do. So I tried doing that, and luckily I wasn't shit. I wasn't bad at it. Sorry, I see the swearing's already coming out. So
It's okay.
um, I weren't terrible at it. So yeah, just gave it a go, and then from then it's been all right.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that you did because you've done, from what I've read about you and stuff, you've done really well so far. So it's a happy accident, even,
Yeah, let's say that. Yeah.
the route that you took. So, when it comes to writing comedy, tell us about some of your recent commissions and some of the things that you've been up to lately.
Lately, there's been a lot of TV writing, which I feel very lucky to have been given the opportunity to do. But the most recent commissions are I've got a comedy with a film company called Unstoppable, which is with BBC Comedy, which is about a kind of fictional estate with different kids and how growing up today is a little bit trickier than it might have been back in the day because there's a lot more awareness of the
Mhm.
world, but they're still kids in it. So whereas they may be thinking about climate change way in the back of their thought process, they're thinking more about, oh, can I touch a titty today? Can I do this? Can I do all that kind of stupid stuff that titty ain't swearing, so I can't get in trouble for
Okay.
that. I can't tell them that. That's one of them. Another one is I've got a radio play which is being recorded in the end of this month, beginning of next month, something like that, which is all about like legacy and toxic masculinity all over a game of dominoes, and it's got like dementia and stuff in there as well. All that stuff drama needs, you know.
Well, you've certainly been busy, definitely.
Yeah.
And did you write a lot of this stuff during lockdown? Like, is this kind of how you managed to stay sane during lockdown?
Yeah. No, so I had a couple of writers' rooms. I had, I think over lockdown, I've written 4 pilots from different commissions. So that's been cool until the notes come back, and then I'm like, oh god, I hate writing. I hate all of it. Don't talk to me ever. So yeah, that's been keeping me sane. And I got a puppy before lockdown started. Got a puppy in January, so that she's she's made sure that I get out of the house and don't just sit around drinking all day and stuff like that.
It's an easy road to take. I mean,
it is, especially if you're creative. You could just do that and no one tells you off. It's great.
Yeah.
You can just do what you want.
So aside from the puppy, how did you manage to stay motivated to keep, creating during lockdown?
Well, first of all, money. So that's a good motivator. And I don't like not doing anything. I find it very tricky being idle. So I would, even if I didn't have those commissions from different companies, I'd still be doing stuff just to try for when the world goes back to normal, if it goes back to normal, just to have something, to do basically.
So how much have you missed performing live?
I didn't miss it at the start because I wanted a break anyway, but you can't, if it's your job, you can't really take a break. So for about a month, I was like, oh, this is brilliant. And then 6 weeks after, like, no live stuff was allowed, I started getting this, like, I always call it the itch, started getting this kind of itchy thing of going, all right, I need to perform, I need to do something. And luckily there's some gigs about now. There's not a lot, but there's some. And the ones that are there are really good because, people are coming out, they're happy, they want to be entertained, they want to do something apart from, talk to their family or whatever they've been doing. They don't want to do anything else except be in the same house. So yeah, it's been cool.
So you've performed at Edinburgh Fringe quite a few times as well.
Yes.
And Edinburgh Fringe always attracts so many great comedians and such like a good crowd. What comedians would you say that you looked up to growing up?
Who did I look up to? I mean, it's hard. There's always, I think the comedians that I looked up to were people that they're very, very like back in the day comedians. I've always preferred American comedians to English comedians just because, they talk about stuff that's not really spoken about here. It's kind of spoken about now, but I'd always love guys like Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, people like that, because they would talk about race, which would never happen over here. You might get Lenny Henry make a little black joke and then go, oh no, don't talk about that. Like, come on, Lenny. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to cuss Lenny Henry on Instagram. But he was the only one. He was like the only mainstream black comedian. And it got like frustrating. So I looked to America. Yeah. That was the main thing. But in terms of English ones, Greg Davies was always someone I looked up to. Just because he's ridiculous. He's just ridiculous. His stand-up doesn't have any substance in the best way possible. He just talks about silly stuff. And I'm like, you know what, this is really funny. It's just funny. And from a comedian, that's kind of what you want. Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of the main thing.
Yeah.
So how much of an issue would you say that race was in comedy? And how have you managed to navigate that?
I think it's a major issue just because, I mean, I've got a lot of thoughts around it, but I think it's a major issue because, number one, there's 2 circuits. Well, there's more than 2 circuits, but there's the black circuit and there's the mainstream circuit. So there'll be black comedians on the black circuit, or white comedians on the black circuit, but they just happen to have an urban spin. I don't even know how to define it really, but they'd be storming those rooms and never like going on to mainstream. You got guys like Slim, Eddie Caddy, Kevin J. They'd just be rocking it and then never transfer over. And then you'd have guys on the other circuit like James Acaster or like Romesh, for example, they would just rock it up. And I would always be thinking, well, what is the difference between them and them? And I think class has a big thing to play into it. I think there is a big working class, middle class divide in comedy, as there is in the world. But the gatekeepers, as they're called, tend to be very middle class, very Oxbridge educated. So it's quite hard to kind of get into that. And in terms of the audience, because I do the mainstream circuit, I'm very aware, oftentimes I will be the only person of color on the bill. So I'll enjoy making them feel guilty. If they do feel guilty, I'll like to play with that, because I know that a lot of them, as soon as I walk on, a lot of them are going to be going, oh, here's the ethnic joke. So that's the first thing I'll say, is that, yeah, this is the ethnic section. Welcome to what I'm going to say. And, you know, it's just, yeah, it's pretty much like society. It's an issue, but it's getting better, hopefully.
Yeah, I was gonna say, since you've been in the industry, have you seen any like noteworthy changes?
I've seen some changes. I've seen audiences be more accepting of certain things, certain topics. I think a lot of promoters and a lot of bookers can be braver in who they're booking. Am I coming in and out of signal?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh my God, my internet is terrible. I'm sorry. This is what happens when you're creative. You can't afford good internet. So think about that before you get into this. I think, yeah, a lot of bookers can be a lot braver with their decisions. Like, I think most acts of color, or like most black acts in particular, will have a story where the booker will go, oh, I can't put you on that night because this black act is on. And you'll talk about the same thing. You'll be like, no, he won't. He's Nigerian. I'm mixed race Trinidadian. So we're not going to chat about the same thing at all. I mean, if it's racism, then yeah, we may overlap a little bit. But yeah, you know, there's that kind of stuff that kind of still needs to change. But it is slowly.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope so, and fast, because there are too many industries where you have those kind of barriers, and it just needs to stop. I did read that you were part of a commission where you were one of two playwrights actually to what was it that you were doing? Encouraging like more BAME stories to be told on the stage.
Oh, right. What was that? Revolution Mix?
Yes, that's the one.
Yes, yeah. So that was an initiative set up by Eclipse Theatre. That was the whole idea was trying to retell Black British history from a place of it not being this kind of like slavery, civil rights, and Bob Marley. Like it was trying to be more than that. So you know, it was telling the stories of like of the Windrush generation and what they faced when they came over here, but also the joy of what those people managed to bring with them, and other things like the oldest body found in Britain is of a Black person, and that's never really discussed. The guy in it's called Cheddar Man or whatever, found in Cheddar Grove, and they did carbon dating and some kind of fossilization thing, found out that he had so much melanin in his skin that it predated the Celts being here, meaning that there must have been Black people here before there were white people, which is probably the case for most of the world. And like there was a story I wanted to tell about when the UK was tribal. They had a tribe of pygmies down in Somerset that were a pygmy African tribe that come from, I think it was Guinea or somewhere like that. And it's just something that's never really taught. And so the whole initiative behind that was to just try and get more of those stories into the canon. But it's proved to be quite a difficult thing to do, surprisingly.
Right. I mean, are you still part of that initiative? Is it still going on, or?
I think it's still going on. I think I'm still part of it, but you know, I don't know. I haven't spoken to anyone about it for a while, so I'm not sure.
That might be something to revisit, because it's definitely, you know, a noteworthy initiative. So
yeah.
So what advice would you give to young creatives who wanted to get into the industry?
Be prepared to fail would be my main bit. But first of all, don't listen to no advice. That's always my advice. Just don't listen to what any of us lot say, because we don't know. We're guessing and sometimes get lucky. That's what happens with all creative people. And if anyone goes, "Oh, I planned all of this," they're a liar. All right, everyone, they're just taking shots in the dark and getting lucky sometimes. That's all it is. I would say be prepared to fail, because that is, for me anyway, my experience has been, for every success, there's about 10 failures, if not way more. And you've got to start to enjoy the failure, because failure is not a bad thing. It's something to learn from. It's something to grow from, rather than it being an avenue shut off. And it obviously it gets very tiring and very annoying and frustrating, but you just got to kind of not take it personally. Try and be authentic is another thing. I think it's important to try and not worry about what you think people want to hear from you, but just talk about whatever it is that you want to speak about. Whatever is annoying you or making you happy, or whatever that thing is you're putting out, just do it as you. Don't do it thinking, how is this going to be received? Because the right people will find it.
So authenticity comes from being yourself, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that's enough advice. I don't know if it's good advice, but it's all I've got.
It works. Absolutely fine. Okay, so with the stuff that's coming next, when can people expect it from you, and where can they, view it and stuff?
Boy, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Some stuff, like there was a play that was meant to be on in May, which couldn't go on because of all the lockdown stuff. So that will be going on in the future, if the theatre's still there. I mean, I don't know if that's still going to be standing. If the theatre is still there, like, we hope. I've got a hope. If it is still there, then that play will be going on, which is called A Place for We. It's all about legacy and gentrification, and the patterns of time overlapping to kind of form a cyclical nature of humanity. That sounded well smarter than the play. The play's not that clever. The play is good, but it's not as clever as like what I just made it sound like. The radio play, which is called Domino, will be out some point in the new year, February or something like that.
Okay.
And apart from that, just whenever live stuff comes back, then you can see me. I'm in. Well, I was in the comedy clubs. Hopefully, I will again be in the comedy clubs, because I'm not doing online comedy. I refuse to do that. So,
So you haven't made the jump from live performances to a Zoom live stream or anything like that?
Oh no. I did a couple of them Zoom gigs. It's the worst thing in the world. I'd rather just sit in the dark and cry. I hate it. I cannot. I mean, if you could do it, great, but it's not the same. Like, I get stuff from live the same way that people go into a live show, get stuff from the comedian. Like, I need the laughter. And if there's a little bit of, like, because like you can see from this, my internet connection is frass. So if suddenly I tell a joke and there's nothing for about a second, I die. And then if they all laugh, I'm like, well, that's too late. That's too late. I needed that laugh 10 seconds, like a second before this. So yeah, I'm not doing any of that online stuff. And then that's just another thing to do every day. And I was like, no, I'm not.
But I'm not that. Being idle, it's like the perfect.
I don't like. This is the thing. I don't like being idle, but I quite enjoy being miserable. So if I have something to look forward to, I'm not gonna enjoy myself.
Okay, well,
look, that's a comedian for you summed up. All right, we're sad and we like it, and no one knows why.
Okay, fine. I'm not gonna argue with you. You know what's best for you, so.
I mean, arguably I don't, but hopefully I do.
Okay, well, last thing, where can people find you online? Like, not obviously doing a live show, but Instagram or...
I'm on Instagram at Archie Maddox. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. At the moment, I haven't really been posting a lot. Just lazy, really, more than anything. But yeah, I tend to post funny stuff, or on Twitter, I'm quite political. So if you don't enjoy that, don't follow me.
Right.
I enjoy having a shout at people over stuff that I don't agree with them on, which is pretty much everything.
I think everybody does that on Twitter. It's a place to just offload.
It's awful, isn't it? I think Twitter is the reason that humanity is just heading down the slope. I think this is the
Downhill
reason that we're
fast.
about to. Yeah. I mean, let the world end if Twitter's going to be the world.
You should never
Yeah,
start your mornings with Twitter because it can ruin your whole day.
it can. It can. In my case, my life. It's ruined my whole life. Twitter.
Oh, God. Okay. So Archie, thank you so much for talking to us.
Nah, you're welcome. I've enjoyed it.
We're now going to head over to Zoom. We are finishing a little bit early, so if everyone just takes a couple of minutes and then gets to Zoom, obviously just before like 6:57, to be weird about it. Okay, and the meeting ID and the passcode is pinned in the chat.
All right, cool. Thanks.
No, you have it by email, but yeah, you can. You know how to join us and do. Okay. Okay.
This is why I don't do the online stuff, because there's this little moment of awkwardness where I'm like, I'm still listening. Oh, okay, cool. That's why I don't do it.
It's fine. Practice makes perfect.
That being said, I've enjoyed this a lot.
So fine. See, it's changed you. This could be your next venture. Who knows?
Maybe. Right.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in Zoom shortly. Bye.